In this movie, I'm going to suggest a handful of other tools that might be helpful to you while testing. All of them can be found on the internet by searching for the tool name or for the tool name plus RSpec. The first tool that we already talked about back in the RSpec with Ruby on Rails chapter is shoulda matchers. These are matchers for testing common Ruby on Rails functionality, such as relationships and validations. They're very helpful. Second, we have SimpleCov. Cov is short for coverage. It watches as your test suite runs, and then it generates code coverage reports at the end. It tells you how much of your code has a corresponding test case. So you might have a customer class, and SimpleCov will tell you that you have tests written for 75% of the code in that class. And you'll be able to see the areas of code that are still not being covered by test examples. Next, we have Timecop. Timecop makes it easy to work with time in your tests. We already saw how we can stub time.now in order to get fixed time. That's basically what Timecop does for you, but with a lot more features. It provides time travel, time freezing, and time acceleration capabilities. Next is WebMock. This is a library for stubbing and setting expectations on HTTP requests. A similar tool is VCR. VCR records your test suite's HTTP requests and responses. Then in the future, it can replay those requests and responses so that you don't actually have to make those requests again. This can be very helpful if your code is sending requests to a remote API, such as Google Maps, or if you may not have an internet connection when you're running your tests. Recording is an interesting alternative to stubbing. And then there's Spork. Spork launches a test server and then creates a copy of that test server called a fork each time that you run your tests. This speeds up your test process because copying the server can be faster than loading up a new one from scratch, especially if you're working with a large framework like Ruby on Rails that takes a lot of time to load. And each copy always starts out in a fresh, clean state. As I said, there are many other tools out there to help you with testing in RSpec. If you want to explore and find more tools, a good way to do it is go to rubygems.org and then search for RSpec. You'll see all the tools that have RSpec somewhere in their name or somewhere in their description.